What is this? The worst communities of Reddit, r/shoplifting. You know what the second worst one is? r/SmugAlana. That's right, you should join right now.
Reddit calls itself the front page of the internet. Scroll deep enough and you'll find horrible communities that feel more like the dark web. Today we'll look at some of the worst groups Reddit has ever seen. So my goal this year is to give you guys double the amount of videos without sacrificing quality. To do that, we got to keep growing. So 68% of you guys aren't subscribed, and it would mean the world to me if you did, and I promise to give you more fire content. I'm Visual Venture. You are awesome. r/shoplifting. Most people feel guilty when they steal, but this subreddit turns stealing into something to be proud of.
Oh, you wanna know the worst part? There's probably people that don't even care about the money, shoplift just to get their Reddit gold on r/shoplifting.
Subreddit was called Shoplifting. It was like a boot camp for thieves. There were posts showing what to wear so security wouldn't notice you stealing. Another post explained how to remove security tags. And one listed the stores that were easiest to shoplift from. They weren't just teaching you how to steal, they were encouraging it. But soon, things started getting messy. Since anyone could join, a few people showed up just to post warnings. They tried to talk sense into the group, explaining how shoplifting was wrong.
And of course, naturally, in classic Reddit fashion, they very likely told them to kick rocks and got down-duded.
The others didn't want to hear it. They wanted to feel good about breaking the law. So the subreddit cracked down hard and made strict rules. The first rule was called moralizing.
You cannot be serious. You're actually committing a crime. You're like, stop moral policing me. God, only Reddit would have a down dude system of like, no, we're gonna remove your post because you're moralizing the situation.
Here's how they explained it. Stealing is bad. We get it. Nothing else needs to be said about it, and we are all right with the morality of our actions. They even called themselves a wonderful community of allegedly corrupt and soulless individuals. This meant no preaching, no guilt tripping, no criticizing shoplifters. If you broke that rule, your post got deleted, and you got banned. No second chances. But moralizing was just one rule out of 6.
Dude, imagine being one of the mods, and he's like, actually, this is moral grandstanding. I'm gonna delete this post. I'm gonna ban you from the subreddit. Please reconsider your actions.
The rule was about pictures. Members posted pictures of the stuff they stole. Groceries, makeup, electronics, anything they could get their hands on. But the moderators wanted the pictures to be educational. So they made a rule called lack of information. It said all posts must now include a short description on how the items were lifted. Violation is removal of post. Then there was rule 6. It was about violence. Advocating violence is unacceptable. We might have criminal intent, but there is no desire to physically harm another person.
What if you're stealing food? Aren't you technically physically harming another person by stealing their food? Yeah, that seems like a loophole right there.
Reddit was like a support group for thieves, and members were genuinely happy. One even wrote, "This feels like a best friend group chat. I love you all so much." As messed up as that sounds,
love another Redditor? That's like, that's puke worthy.
The community kept growing. At its peak, it had over 77,000 members. But soon, people outside the group started hearing about it. Major vlogs and news sites picked up the story. Obviously, the general public wasn't okay with a community teaching 77,000 people how to shoplift. Reddit had to step in. In 2018, Reddit updated its content policy. They added a new rule that banned users from promoting stolen goods. The shoplifting subreddit clearly broke that rule. So in March 2018, Reddit shut it down permanently. The subreddit lasted 9 years before getting banned. And in that time, it probably helped thousands of people get into shoplifting. This next group tried to do something good, but they ended up making a mess. r/find Boston suspects. For the sake of YouTube, we'll be calling the subreddit Find Boston Suspects, not the other word. In April 2013, a tragedy hit America hard. It happened during the Boston Marathon. Thousands were running through the streets. Suddenly, explosions went off near the finish line. Dozens were injured and some didn't make it. The FBI launched an investigation to find out who was responsible.
Make no mistake, we will get to the bottom of
Oh,
this.
it's Obama,
But while the
Chad,
feds
it's
worked the case,
Obama.
some people on Reddit thought they could solve it faster than the cops. So they
Oh,
created a subreddit
vigilantes.
called Find Boston Suspects. But instead of helping, they became the internet's worst detectives.
Oh
The
my
group started
God.
by analyzing photos from the event.
Much of the activity on this page involved Redditors scanning over blurry and grainy
I used to
images
watch
that were
this guy.
taken
What
from
the
the
frick?
Boston Marathon in an attempt to find a suspect.
They zoomed in on backpacks, they circled random faces, they looked for anything suspicious. Then
Oh my god, this is so dumb. At least with the police work, it doesn't get leaked outside of, like, into the public. The problem is the public can't control themselves, and they're going to fucking kill and hurt these people for looking like a suspect.
they started pointing fingers with very little proof. Their first suspect was a 17-year-old runner named Salah. Members of the subreddit were convinced that Salah and his coach looked suspicious. The coach had a backpack which they thought contained the devices. So the group spread their photos online, accusing them of being the suspects. Even the New York Post put Salah and his coach on the front page. But there was a big problem. Salah was completely innocent. He was so scared for his safety that he
Oh
went
my
straight to the
God.
police to clear his name. Luckily, he was able to prove that he had nothing to do with the incident. But the Find Boston Suspects community wasn't done causing trouble. On April 18th, 2013, the FBI released photos of the real suspects. But there was another problem. The photos were blurry, so the faces were hard to make out. And once again, the subreddit
wearing
didn't wait.
glasses,
They
too.
rushed to blame someone else. The subreddit compared the blurry FBI photos to random people on social media. That's when someone brought up a man named Sunil. Sunil was a 22-year-old student who went missing a month before the incident. And just like that, the group decided he must be one of the suspects.
Oh no.
They posted his name, they shared his photos,
Vigilantism.
and they spread the accusation across the internet. To
Ruined
them,
his
Sunil wasn't
life.
missing, he was hiding.
Police believe this new image from a surveillance camera shows the 22-year-old just moments after leaving his campus apartment.
Sunil's family
I
created
remember seeing conspiracy theories saying that one guy lost his leg, was a war vet that already lost his leg, so that's how they faked it.
a Facebook page to find him. But after the rumor spread,
mean,
that
in a
page was
movie, I
flooded
guess,
with hate.
yeah.
They accused the family of hiding a terrorist. The harassment was so bad that the family deleted the Facebook
Oh my
page.
God.
Somehow, that only made things worse. Now, people were sure they were hiding something. Even journalists started repeating the rumor. One phrase started trending, "We did it, Reddit."
This is why information like this doesn't go to the public, man.
It was what people said when Reddit cracked a big case. But they were
Oh, we did it,
completely
Reddit.
wrong. On April
Updo's
19th,
for
the truth
everyone.
came out. The FBI found the real suspects and arrested them. Sunil was innocent. The Find Boston Suspects subreddit destroyed his reputation for nothing. After the truth came out, Sunil's family was furious. Reddit later apologized to Sunil's family.
We're sorry we ruined your life. Here's a Reddit gold chat.
Then they banned the Find Boston Suspects subreddit, but it was too late because
Why didn't they ban it before?
of a wild internet humor, his family was humiliated.
We, knew unconvincingly that this was not Sunil, and it was just very difficult to have the events of that night unfold so aggressively.
Sadly,
so
the story
sad.
didn't end there. Even though everyone now knew Sunil had nothing to do with the incident, he was still missing. Just days later, police found Sunil lifeless near his school. That meant he wasn't even alive when the incident happened. The Find Boston Suspects subreddit didn't conduct an investigation. They
It takes you 1 fucking second to look it up, man. That's so fucked up.
led a witch hunt. It was horrible that two
That's
innocent
so
people
bad.
were
That's
tracked
so
down as
bad.
if they were suspects. But surprisingly, this stuff happens every day. And it could easily happen to us because data brokers sell our personal information online. You could go to any data broker website right now and buy anyone's data, which to me is honestly
buy
insane.
your data,
and if they buy
chat.
yours, they have access to your personal information.
I have
so
your
this
personal
actually happened to me.
information.
Some messed up people found my information online, and long story short, it was a mess. After that, I tried removing my data from every website that sold it, but there were just too many. So that's where today's sponsor, Aura, comes in.
Aura
they scan
these
data
nuts.
broker websites
Yo,
to
Mr.
find where your
Coco, they get a sub
information
for
is being
17
sold.
months,
And after a
man.
few weeks, you'll notice less spam, but most importantly, if someone searches you online, they won't find you. Aura
Take my
monitors the dark
data.
web and tells you if your data
I will
was leaked.
analyze
And if
you.
someone tries to open up a bank account in your name, they let you know right away. And in the worst case scenario, they provide up to $5
I'm kidding. I
million
don't want your
in
fucking data.
identity
That's
theft
fucking weird.
insurance.
Joke.
Aura even includes a VPN, antivirus, and password manager, which would have all been extremely helpful in my case. Guys, I really hope you consider Aura. If you do, go to aura.com/VV to try 14 days for free. That would be enough time for Aura to find out if your personal data
But you
is
take
leaked.
this instead. I will.
r/JB. For the sake of our channel staying safe
What's J? Never mind. I'm not gonna ask.
from the YouTube hammer,
I'll
we'll be
figure it
calling
out.
this
Don't type
subreddit
it in
JB.
chat.
The JB subreddit was full of creeps. Urban Dictionary defines JB as a girl who is too young.
Oh my God, I'm in. Bro, I didn't put that in. Okay.
But still seen as attractive. From that definition
Damn,
alone,
dude.
it's obvious what this
Jen and
community
berries?
was about. Members
Thanks,
of this
man.
group posted suggestive photos of young females. A lot of the images were stolen from Instagram, Facebook, and school websites. Some were even
Yeah.
taken with hidden cameras. What these men were doing was disgusting, but they
sickos.
weren't hiding it, not even a little. In fact, JB was famous.
The subreddit was extremely popular on the website. So popular that it even won Subreddit of the Year.
Chat, this is how we know it's been a culture shift. It's actually been a culture shift.
In 2008 via user
Oh my
poll.
God.
Let that sink in. JB won Subreddit of the Year. That means people actively voted for it. At one point, JB was the second most searched term on Reddit. That brings up the obvious question. How did Reddit allow this community to exist?
I blame porn, unironically. Yeah. Porn rotted people's fucking brains out.
When Reddit first launched, there were barely any rules. Users could post almost anything as long as it wasn't illegal. That's because Reddit's founders believed in free speech, and they defended that belief even when it came to JB.
Reddit's general manager at the time, Eric Martin, said that while he was disturbed by this group, it's not the place of Reddit to censor the users.
Reddit bosses said having to stomach questionable subreddits like JB are part of the price of free speech on a site like this. Surprisingly, many people agreed. They were scared that if Reddit banned one community, it would start banning more, and that would kill free speech on the site.
But it's not a good thing to fucking have JB, man. Lawless land. Yeah, I guess, like, if you want lawless land, go to 4chan. I'm not gonna lie.
Then CNN got involved and things got more complicated. In September 2011, a CNN reporter called Reddit out on national TV. He criticized them for hosting a community full of creeps. That report turned millions of people against JB and Reddit. You would think that would get JB banned, but the opposite happened. The CNN spotlight made JB more popular. The very next day,
No, Strizen, they didn't even do anything about it.
JB got 1.7 million views in a single day.
Wow.
That was the most attention
That's
the group
insane.
ever received. JB seemed untouchable. Then one post brought everything crashing down. In October 2011, someone uploaded a new picture to the group, but the real problem wasn't the photo. It was a comment underneath it. The user claimed they had content of the same girl, and they were willing to share it in private messages. Dozens of members reached out to him asking for the files. The post stayed up long enough for people to screenshot it, and those screenshots spread beyond Reddit.
Oh
That was
my
the final
God.
straw. That was an actual crime. That night, Reddit banned JB. By 8 p.m.
Wow, that's
Eastern
what it
time,
took.
anyone who tried accessing the subreddit saw this message. The subreddit has been shut down due to threatening the structural integrity of the greater Reddit community. For some, the ban was long overdue. For others, it felt like the end of free speech. But looking back, it's obvious what JB really was. A community that normalized terrible behavior.
Yeah.
This next Reddit community seemed like a
crazy that
joke,
they
but
didn't
they
even
caused
take him
real
down
pain
earlier.
to lots of innocent people. r/HermanCainAward. This group
What's
was
that?
accused of mocking the dead. It was like they celebrated when someone passed away.
Oh, so it's like Twitter, yeah.
Sounds insane, but if you understand how the group started, it
Twitter does
begins
this all
to
the
make
time.
sense. The subreddit was called HermanCainAward. It was named after US politician Herman Cain. In early 2020, Herman Cain called the COVID pandemic fake news. Herman Cain kept attending crowded events. Weeks later, in July 2020, Herman Cain got sick and passed away soon after.
Oh, wait, now I know what this is. Yes, okay, I know what this is.
2 months later, the HermanCainAward subreddit was
That's still... Chaz, say what you want. That's still really fucking... That's mean.
created, but it wasn't made to honor how he lived. It was created to mock how he died. The goal of the subreddit was simple. It shared stories of people who denied COVID and then got infected and didn't survive. Each post followed a formula. You'd see a screenshot of someone downplaying the pandemic or refusing the vaccine. Then you'd get an update from the same person announcing they've caught the flu.
Oh
and the
my
last screenshot
God.
revealed the person's fate. If the person survived the illness, the post was labeled nominated.
Not when it's self-inflicted. That is not what I wanted to hear, man. My worst enemy, a person that I don't like, I don't want them to get cancer and die. I just don't. I don't care that much. And even if you get the vaccine, you can still die. It's not nice. I don't think it's okay. No.
If they changed their mind and
I
got
don't think it's
vaccinated, it was
okay. I
labeled
don't want people
redemption.
to-
And if they passed away, they were awarded. That meant they received the so-called Herman Cain Award. By 2021, the media heard about the Herman Cain Award, and they called out the subreddit for being heartless.
Shine
Families
before
who
it
lost someone would come online only to find their loved one turned into Reddit content.
Again, it's not. The thing is also is that they turn this from a public figure to like people on Facebook, like normal everyday people. That's what I think is most fucked up. Because people celebrate politicians dying all the time or they're getting cancer. I don't think that's okay. I think that's horrible. But it's like normal people, like you have zero like just empathy or like understanding.
Maintaining a
that's
subreddit
sad.
like this, you're cheering for it, right? You want the next story to come in.
Yeah, I think it's
and beyond that, it's
mentally
just incredibly disrespectful for the mourning families.
The subreddit's defenders said it wasn't about celebrating death. To them, it was about showing the danger of misinformation.
They only award people, right, given the Herman Cain Award, to people who were actively propagating, spreading, and parading extreme misinformation.
Okay, but you could also fake those. You can fake Facebook posts. What if a person's getting harassed and their family's getting harassed? And when people figure out who they are, I don't think this is okay either. I don't think it's okay to be like, oh, well, I'm parading them around because they did the wrong thing. Like,
Members of the group took things too far. They tracked down grieving family members on
what did I just say? Not pre-watched, by the way. I'm
Facebook.
just saying.
Then they sent nasty messages mocking the deceased relatives. It was like they were intentionally
That's wicked,
trying to
dude.
cause pain. By that point, the subreddit
That's so
started to
bad.
seem more like a mob. The harassment got so bad that the subreddit's moderators had to intervene. They issued warnings and
Like a
banned members who
Windows.
harassed grieving family members. However, many members didn't see anything wrong with the harassment. It became a huge debate within the group. Today, this subreddit is still active and it has about 500,000 members. To
I'm not
some, it's a wake-up
surprised.
call. To most, it's none other than harassment. This next subreddit was so bad it caught the attention of federal agents. r/DarkNetMarkets.
The FBI has seized control of a controversial website which made buying drugs as easy as going to the store.
In October 2013, the FBI shut down Silk Road. It was a website where people bought illegal stuff like substances, fake
I heard of guys in my high school buying stuff through Silk Road. That's how I first started hearing about it and shit, and then it got shut down.
IDs and stolen credit cards. People even ordered hitmen on Silk Road. If you want to know more about this website, check out the whole documentary I created about it. When Silk
That's
Road
insane.
disappeared, it left a vacuum. Thousands of people were searching for the next place to get illegal goods. So someone created a Reddit group to solve that problem.
Was it
It was
middle
called
school?
DarkNetMarkets. DarkNetMarkets
can't
didn't sell
remember. It's been
anything
a while.
illegal, but it told you where to find it. The group was where dealers, hackers, and cyber criminals would hang out and talk about what
I love when people call themselves fucking hackers and shit.
And on illicit marketplaces. If someone wanted to buy substances online, all they had to do was scroll through the subreddit, and they would find recommendations on the best places to buy from. It even had tutorials on how to spot undercover cops and how to buy illegal stuff without leaving a paper trail. And it wasn't a
They're smugglers! Chat, do you use this subreddit?
small group. The subreddit grew to 160,000 members. But with that many people, they weren't exactly flying under the radar. By 2015, federal agents heard about the group, so they started monitoring, waiting for one person to slip up so they could swoop in. In 2015, the feds made a move. They sent Reddit—
You have to be so, like, stupid to think that you're gonna get away with buying drugs or talking about drugs on something like Reddit. I feel like you have to be so dumb.
an order demanding personal information
let
for
you have-
5
they'll let you
members
do
of the
it.
DarkNetMarkets group. Those users were linked to a new black market called Evolution, and the FBI wanted to arrest them. Reddit wouldn't say if they gave the FBI the information or not. They stayed totally silent. After the request, the community panicked. People stopped posting, activity dropped fast. Then in 2018, 3 years after the FBI's request, Reddit updated its policy. The new policy banned users from promoting illegal goods and services. DarkNetMarkets was clearly breaking that rule. So in March 2018, Reddit banned them. This next subreddit created a problem for the entire world.
I just can't believe that they just... Reddit is so cringe. I had no idea.
r/Deepfakes.
Uh-oh.
The subreddit changed the internet forever, but not in a good way. The group was created by a Reddit user who went by the name Deepfakes, and in 2017, he discovered a creepy new way to use AI. He would take the faces of female celebrities and put them onto adult videos. The results were so realistic, people thought the videos were real.
It's very difficult to convince people that that isn't you, because
It's fucked up that they do this. I'm so thankful I'm a fucking VTuber.
it looks like you, it might as well be you.
Soon, the Reddit user created a
Yeah, how do you
Reddit
prove
community
it's
to
not?
show off his work. He named it after himself,
Officer, that's not my
Deepfakes.
pussy,
And once
sorry.
again, for the sake of YouTube, we'll be calling it Fakes. Within 2 months, the subreddit had 15,000 members. The group was filled with AI videos of celebrities.
Yep.
But soon, people didn't just want to watch celebrities. They uploaded photos of real people they knew and asked for AI videos of them.
Some stuff that I saw online was people requesting deepfakes of their sister so that they can use that to black.
Nah, you are going to hell for that. That's your sister? What is wrong with you, you fucking freak? Alabama? Oh my god. You have to have, like, I have a big brother, like, and it's actually fucking disgusting. Like, holy shit.
Blackmail them, requesting
Like,
deepfakes of
thinking
family
that you
members
could
of their
do
teachers.
that, or even
Eventually,
think of
that
doing
wasn't enough too. The members
would
wanted
never,
to
but
learn how to
still.
make the fake videos themselves. At this point,
Fucking
Fakes was no
abhorrent.
longer one guy's username. It became the term for inappropriate video.
It says it's for blackmail. Maybe it's not sexual. Chat, do I have to explain it to you? Thankfully, it's only used for blackmail. Yeah, but you're looking at fake blackmail porn of your sister and then sending it to her. Like, I mean, I know, I understand that you're like, oh, it's better than them beating their meat to it. I understand what you're saying, but it's like, it's unironically just like, I don't have hands to show you, but you're like a smidge above the next level. Yeah, you're a smidge above that? Like, is that really that much better? Not by a lot.
was made using AI.
The term was born in Reddit when members of a group called Deepfake used AI to put celebrities' faces on actors.
But making fakes was hard. You needed a powerful computer and coding skills, but that was about to change. In 2018, a member of the subreddit released a software called FakeApp. FakeApp made creating fakes as easy as clicking a few buttons. Just upload
Holy
the picture and let
shit.
the AI do the rest. Now anyone could make a fake. FakeApp spread like wildfire
Wow.
far beyond Reddit. On January 24th,
That first one was
2018,
crazy.
a blog published an article exposing the subreddit. They pretty much blamed the group for kickstarting the AI AI video epidemic. The article went viral. People were furious and Reddit couldn't ignore it anymore. 2 weeks later, Reddit banned the fake subreddit. They also uploaded their policy to ban all involuntary inappropriate content. However, it was too late. Even after the ban, fake app continued to spread. And today, fakes blackmail is still a huge problem online. This next subreddit turned tragedy into entertaining content. r/WatchPeopleDie.
Oh. Yeah, I remember that. Anybody else when they were a kid?
WatchPeopleDie, or WPD.
Not Reddit. This is Encyclopedia Dramatica. That was
exactly
shit.
what it
That's
sounded like. It was
Live
a community
tweet,
where members could watch real videos of people losing their lives. The subreddit started in 2012, and the content was disturbing. Members claimed the group showed the unfiltered reality of death. But why would anyone want to watch that? One member said it wasn't a place where we laugh and make fun of people's deaths. The reason we keep coming back is because it really shows us how precious life is. Another claimed that watching workplace accidents made them more careful on the job. But that didn't change the fact that it operated like a page filled with shock, full of videos of ordinary people losing their lives. At first, Reddit ignored WPD's shocking content. Then, in September 2018, Reddit placed the group under quarantine. That meant WPD's posts were hidden from Reddit's front page. Only the group's
It was on the front page? So if you brigaded and updated like people dying, you could see it on the front page. Nah, that's wicked, man.
Members could see the content. Even in quarantine, WPD kept growing. By 2019, it had more than 400,000 members. However, with the kind of content being shared, it was only a matter of time before WPD got in trouble. And that moment came in March 2019. In March 2019, a tragedy in New Zealand led to multiple fatalities. The attacker live streamed the incident on Facebook, and the footage—
Dude, it was insane.
quickly spread across the internet. Eventually, it reached the WPD subreddit.
The first place I saw this was on 4chan.
This was exactly the kind of video WPD existed for, so they posted it. But the footage was too graphic. And out of respect for the victims and their families, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube scrubbed it from their platforms. But WPD didn't. While other sites took it down, WPD kept the video up, and people were furious. Internet users begged WPD to remove it out of respect for the grieving families. But WPD didn't listen. Instead, they locked the thread. Then they posted this message. The video stays up until someone censors us. The video is being scrubbed from major social media platforms, but hopefully Reddit believes in letting you decide for yourself whether or not you want to see unfiltered reality. At that point, it was WPD versus the world. Since WPD wouldn't budge, people put pressure on Reddit. And this time the pressure worked. A few hours after WPD posted that—
You just can't make that fucking argument when it's— When you make the argument in the first instance of like, oh, well, it's just workplace accidents, or it's like people accidentally, you know, getting run over. This is like people dying in a horrible way. Like, what the fuck, man? This is so bad.
Message, Reddit banned WPD. The ban was for posting content that incites or glorifies violence. The ban was a long time coming because turning people's final moments into content was just disrespectful. These Reddit communities didn't just exist. They grew because people kept watching. But when you constantly look at the worst parts of the internet, it starts to feel normal. So my friends, protect your sense of what's right and wrong, because once you lose it, it's hard to get it back.
True.
Visual venture.
Yeah, I ain't gonna hold you.
Wait, before you go, make sure you guys check out my other video on the internet's most disturbing fandoms right here. Thank you guys for everything. Peace.
Peace. That was a good video. Well, it just reminded me of fucked up shit. No photos online, just VTubers from now on. Yeah, no more seeing people's heads fucking flying off. Thankful for that.